Hello fairy friends, welcome back, and if you're new here, my name is Liz. I collect all sorts of dolls and games and toys from all sorts of time periods and of different materials. This one is a vinyl doll. She is a Betsy McCall from 1961, and she's a pretty large size. I meant to measure her. I want to say that she's about 32 inches, but I will get back to you on that one because she needs to be restrung and can't really tell her height until she's all back together. So I did a video about her, a kind of a short video of bringing her home and looking at her. Someone on Facebook Marketplace in my town was selling her for 20 bucks, so I went and grabbed her because I think I recognized her face, but she didn't look as bad in the photos as when I got her home. So I am going to clean up the vinyl in this video, and I am going to restring her. I'm doing a voiceover because I had to edit. I had some goof ups filming, and so I actually had to do and show the restringing again so that you guys could see it, because I thought I had pressed record, but when I put it on the tripod, it actually stopped it from recording. Anyway, that's always so fun. I do apologize for the angle. It was later in the evening, and I wasn't, see how dirty that is? I wasn't as attentive to looking at the camera to make sure my hand or my arm wasn't in the way. So I'm going to get that all out of the way now and get on with it. So her face is pretty grubby. Her cheeks, I'm not really sure. You guys will have to tell me. Some face paints can change over time and fade out. So what was once maybe a pinker type of a color for cheeks might be more of an orange. I don't think this is problematic for her. So I think you'll have to tell me, you guys. I don't think it's faded enough so that I would need to redo it. And I'm not really up for taking the face paint off. Her cheek and her lip color seem to coordinate along with her tint on the eyelids. So I cleaned that up. Her eyelashes rather are very thick. They're all there, and her eyes are pretty crisp. The color's crisp, and the acrylic is pretty clear still. So very happy about that. So there's no major fixes. Now her body is articulated slightly different than I have seen. If you guys know about this particular doll, then you'll already know that her torso is a hard plastic, and then part of her legs are hard plastic. Her feet are vinyl. She has the top of her legs where they go in the hip is a vinyl, and then it has an articulation point there, and I'll show you that here in just a little bit. Her wrists twist, and she has her feet can twist at her ankle. So I thought that was really neat, and she cleaned up very well. And she initially I thought there was one large loop of stringing for her. So this is how I like to think of the stringing of this doll, or a lot of dolls. The string makes one large, we'll say rectangular loop. At the two ends of the shorter ends is where the legs go, and at the top of the rectangular, that one side, that shorter, that's where the arms go. And it's all one loop, and it provides the tension throughout the doll, and then you can stand the doll up. These have a metal loop, as you can see, in the hip area at the top of the leg, and they didn't crimp them. So on her left leg here, it moves freely, and on that little loop, kind of like a fish hook, I guess to say. The problem, and I'll show you it, I didn't edit it out so that you guys can see. I could not find my larger hemostats. All I have are these silly ones, and I hate them. I don't know what they're called. Someone will have to tell me. I got them from Garnet. She was an ER nurse for many years, and she is the one who made and repaired dolls, and I received them from her. So these are not my favorites to use. They are good in a pinch. Ironically, they don't want to pinch here. So I had to stop and go find another pair. I did go ahead and give it my all to tie this. As you can see, it took a lot of strength. If you're ever restringing the doll, what you'll need to do is just take a moment, examine how it's all strung together, and then verify that the cord is not degrading, that it still has some stretch. And at first you might think, oh, well, this is just a cord, this doesn't have stretch. You really have to feel it to see. It's like when you string a doll, that cord is really heavy. So there is some stretch there. But if there's enough there to work with and it is not damaged in any way, you do not have to completely restring it. So this is where I goofed up, and I'm just showing you because this might happen to you. I tightened it, I tucked it back in after I tied the knot and realized that did not do the trick. The problem is not that I didn't tie it tight enough. The problem is in her other leg, which I'm about ready to discover. The problem here is this hook here. It is the same shape as the one over here. However, it is somehow or other over time, the cord becomes stuck there. It doesn't necessarily look rusty. It doesn't look like, sometimes the cord can have tears in it, so it makes a kind of like a divot that will settle right there on that hook. It doesn't even look like the hook is any tighter. It doesn't look like it's been pinched at all. So if you can imagine again, that big one loop going all the way through, no matter how hard I was tying it on that left leg, even if it appeared tight enough, that right leg was not letting that cord budge at all. Once I got the cord moving freely through that little hook, it changed everything. So when I go back over to the left leg where the knot is, I can untie it, and then I can really tie it good and tight, and that big loop running through there is now as tight as it can get. So it's simpler when it is, if you're doing a repair, it is simpler to have the one big loop. There are other complex or more, difficult ways to string dolls, and mostly that's due to how they are constructed, how they are articulated, but that big one loop, it's the easiest of them all to kind of get through my brain. However, on a doll this size, it does take a lot of strength to tighten that up. But once I got that good and tight, that solved all of the problems. The legs at the hips clicked back into place real firmly, and the arms at the shoulders, it was tight enough that it all actually made a very satisfying click back into place. Each one did. That's when I discovered an additional problem that I didn't foresee, and it has to do with how this particular doll was strung, and I'll show you here in just a second. I'm going to get this tightened up. I'm going to tuck that in, and I think I'm good as gold. I got that all figured out, and I can move on to fix her hair. Nope. Guess what? Her head here has a different cord and an entirely different loop. As you can see, it's running all the way through her torso, which makes sense. I would have realized this earlier. It is a completely different color, and that's to differentiate between the others. So there's the cord with the black specks through it that does that big loop, and then there's this white cord that runs down through her chest, down through her abdomen to keep that together. I would have realized this sooner if it wasn't so late. I'm going to blame it on being tired, you guys. Thankfully, I have a little quick fix here because that white cord has a little kind of a metal crimp in it that will not allow me to untie it. There's just not enough there to work with. So guess what? This is becoming the big loop. I'm putting on her little hook that comes out of her neck, I'm looping her into the big rectangular loop. I'm borrowing the tension from that big loop and adding it to the tension in her stomach all the way up to her neck. Now that loop coming out of her neck is not meant to hold more than one cord, so I do crimp it shut. I'm going to do my best to make my own diagram of this stringing, and that way I can take a picture and post it on Pinterest along with her before and after pictures. That way, if someone should happen upon this video at some point in the future, they might be able to actually understand the process here, because I'm not the best at explaining it, and also I don't film very well, especially when it's late at night. So thank you guys if you made this far. You guys are the real MVPs. I appreciate you. Stay tuned for her salon day. I hope you guys have a magical day. Bye-bye.